Next part of the session, we'll be very shortly joined by influencers, experts from vivid industries who will be talking about the aspect of in real life, that is IRL, if IRL is going to be the death of digital. So it's going to be a paradox kind of a discussion where we will be figuring out if IRL in the times to come is going to overweigh the digital one. And this conversation will be navigated by Ms. Virginia Sharma, who is the marketing head India at Google Cloud. And joining her on stage are going to be 4 set of people. And it's a kind of debate where Mr. Jahid Ahmed, Senior Vice President and Head of Digital Acquisition, Website Content and Social Media Marketing at HDFC Bank, coupled with Mr. Rasheed, Sait, Vice President and Managing Director, George P. Johnson, Experience Marketing, are going to debate their perspective versus 2 other panel members or debate members, let me say, which is going to be Mr. Kshitij Saxena, Head of Marketing, Audi Business, Jubilant MotorWorks, and Mr. Lalatendu Das, Chief Executive Officer at Performics India. So you're going to be watching a debate, Jahid and Lalatendu versus Rasheed and Kshitij, which will be navigated by Ms. Virginia Sharma. It's going to be clutter breaking, it's going to be debate, not the kind of debate that we are going to watch on television. There won't be any conflicts, but there'll be a lot of creative conflict tension that you're going to be witnessing. So for this one-of-a-kind conversation, can I request our moderator, Ms. Virginia Sharma, to join us on stage, and joining her on stage will be Mr. Jahid Ahmed, Mr. Lalatendu Das, Mr. Kshitij Saxena, and Mr. Rasheed Sait. So can I request all the luminaries to join us on stage? And Virginia, over to you. You'll be using the mic? Okay.
All right, good afternoon. You guys ready to have a little bit of a spicy afternoon, I guess? First of all, I have to thank in advance the debaters for being such good sports, because I am a really tough moderator. Let me first explain to you all how the format will work, is that the debate will be structured in 2 teams. So on one team, we will actually have Kshitij and Rasheed, who will be presenting the motion for, which I'll explain in a second, and then we will actually have Jahid and LD who will do it against the motion. So the motion, the way it's written, and it's for those, how many of you all have ever done debate in college or, okay. Everybody generally know what a motion is? Okay. So the motion stands as experiential marketing will take share from digital marketing budgets. Let me read that again. Experiential marketing will take share from digital marketing budgets. That's the motion. You all will be voting at the end of this, okay? So 2 things I need you to do is to pay attention, and secondly, to actually have your phones handy, because you'll be voting at the end. Very important, because the team has prepared as follows. We will actually have the first speaker from the 4 team, the experiential team who's for the motion, who will actually speak for 3 minutes. And I will chime them in. I have a bell. At the 2 minutes 30 mark, I will signal to them, and in exactly 3 minutes they have to stop. Then we will have 3 minutes against the motion. Then we will have 3 minutes rebuttal by team 1, and then 3-minute rebuttal by team 2. Then they'll take a short 2-minute break, and they will prepare questions that they will hand over to me. If you want to influence their thinking on questions, you can, and if you know them, you can help them. Phone a friend, but they have 2 minutes to prepare questions that they will hand over to me that I will read. And for the next 10 minutes, there will be questions asked to each of the teams, up to 10 minutes. Okay? Then they will have 2 minutes to prepare closing remarks. The closing remarks cannot include any new information that has not been presented in the previous 28 minutes. And I'll have you guys please hold them accountable to this, because when you vote, you are also voting for their ability to conduct the debate in the manner that I have just described. Okay? So everybody clear on how this is going to go? It's going to be fast moving, a little bit different than what you're used to. win a panel, and all the debaters, and I would just ask that when you're ready, just come to the podium. So can I first invite the speaker for the motion to present the opening comments and the speaker arguments from Team A? Who will be doing that? All right, over to you. Yes, please applaud. Give me a quick second, I'm just going to time it.
Thank you, Virginia. Can we start?
And you can start now.
Okay, one of the things that has emerged recently is that, surprise, surprise, and all of you may not take this well, because a lot of you all are from the experiential or, digital background, I suppose, that experiential, after the comeback from COVID, is taking share from paid digital advertising. So the premise of today's debate is that experiential marketing will take share from digital advertising budgets. We all know that experiential has made a stronger comeback. Marketers have realized that people are seeking human connections more than ever before. So if you have been to a mall or to the movie hall or even to a holiday destination, you will find that anything to do with face-to-face and experiential is filling up to the brim. Even events like Microsoft Ignite, which used to be difficult to get people to, it's a paid event. The tickets were sold out within a few weeks when it went live. So to capitalize on this trend, and maximize ROI, what marketers are doing now is they're putting human experience at the center of their marketing mix. And for years, if you all know, and I'm sure all of you all are aware, Red Bull has been doing it for many, many years, right? You hardly see any advertising from Red Bull. That brand is purely an experiential brand that does stunts, that does all kind of Formula One sponsorships, and anything to do with adventure. And then customers become fans become ambassadors, and today Red Bull is an $8 billion brand, $8 billion US brand. So that's the power of experiential that we're talking about over here. And a great example of how free media and earned media works best when it is in the service of experiential. This year, if you know Dreamforce by Salesforce, they had 40,000 attendees attending the event, but had 1 million views online with digital working as a support channel. And I'd like to say, welcome to the world of unified experience. Welcome to hybrid. So what Gartner CMO study has just revealed recently is that until the beginning of this year, digital budgets used to contribute to 70% of a marketer's marketing mix. It's gone down in 2022 to 56%. And the trend is that it will go down further as experiential makes a comeback. With the return of in-person, audiences and brands alike are reevaluating how and where they invest their money, time, and resources.
Yeah. I told them that I would be strict. I think they thought I was joking. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rasheed. All right, can I have the opening remarks for the next team? Thank you.
You tell me to start. 1 second.
Yeah, give me
Hello,
a second.
guys. Hello. Yeah, sure.
Give me a quick second. Yes, please start.
Well, in real life experience, we'll take the budgets from digital. This sentence actually saw its death the day the basic necessities of a human being changed to roti, kapra, makan, and mobile. The sentence saw the death when Maslow's hierarchy started including digital and social data in its psychological needs. Because the way money measures wealth, digital and social fans measure your social acceptance and belongingness and self-esteem. So digital is not death, but digital is the way of life. Let's talk about the sectors where in real life was only way and how digital has penetrated. Let's talk about movies. Well, OTT has gone into a penetration of 20% CAGR with 42 crores population and 2 to 3 hours of daily spends online, where it's actually the doomsday for multiplexes because movies are consumed only once in a month. That too, if the content is guaranteed and not a Bollywood blockbuster. It has to be South Indian, right? Let's take the shopping commerce, right? E-commerce. We have got a whooping 256% growth from a 30 billion in 16 to 100 billion in 2022. So that's contributing to the globally third largest. India is the third largest now in income in terms of e-commerce, because after US and China, because we have around 200 million of guys who have moved to shopping digitally. Okay, so when we are talking about banking, anyone who remembers when we last went to a branch to do a deposit or transfer of money? Well, that's the power of digital, and we all know the UPI transactions that's happening. That's the power of digital. And this digital transformation is actually converging to digital increase in digital media spends. 10 years back, digital used to contribute to 5% of the whole advertising industry's money. Today, digital is contributing 38% of the entire advertising money. So if we are not the mainstream, we are one of the mainstreams. And I'm sure we'll take over soon with CTV and going also digital way. Right. So if you see the way digital has evolved, it has evolved from the evolution where it used to be smack, social, mobile, analytics, and cloud. That was pretty much the way a kid had born. All the brands evolved. Then it moved to digital acceleration and digital transformation. That was pandemic. Necessity was the mother of invention. Everybody had to move. We did that. Then came now the next 10 years will be digital convergence. That is the launch of dark. Distributed ledger, artificial intelligence, extended computing, and extended reality. That is dark for you. That is happened where digital will be at its core. All the lines between core competencies, sales, marketing will blur out, and the entire organization will function as omni-channel, right? So this reminded me of a case where the kid has grown and become a full-blown adult. And this reminded me of the quote that when the father's shoes are fitting the son's feet, it's time to embrace the son as a friend and not a parent. So it's time for all the brands of offline to embrace digital as a friend. Otherwise, it will die its own natural death, like a Kodak, like HMV, like a Blockbuster. So time to embrace digital, because digital will not die. Time is actually clicking on your side. Thank you.
Thank you, Virginia. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Please start, yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, so I think the question isn't that whether digital is relevant or is it going to be here to stay. It is definitely going to be here to stay. The question is that how does your EQ, which is for me, which is a big word, which is your emotional quotient, how is that? Is it good scale, medium scale, large scale when you're communicating with your target audience, target group, and things like that? How many, I think current flavor is the FIFA World Cup. How many of you have seen people either having tears of joy or tears of anguish while watching a football game, right? How many people of you have seen concerts where, the younger generation is just so happy just to see their stars performing. And they have this, very, very high emotional connect with the person who's performing in front of you, maybe through sport, maybe through song and dance, whatever the case may be. The key is that we have to constantly and keep on constantly doing activations and doing shows and doing event marketing, which has a absolutely connect with the person's emotional quotient. From the category that I come from, which is automotive and premium automotive, this is absolutely key for us to make a sale, key to have start of a journey, which also looks at creating fans, like Rasheed says, because one thing is for sure, fans will forgive, but customers will complain, right? If you have a connect with your consumer base, You will have a lot of referral cases which will be on a very, very high level. And once a referral happens, you are getting closer to the referral and closer to making that sale at absolutely zero cost. There is no cost of getting a referral. That is, if the first person in line has had a good time with you, he will pass on that experience to somebody else, and somebody else, which is free word of mouth marketing, as I call it. And customers, you can nurture them, you can do whatever you want to do with them, but at the end of the day, if there is no EQ, customers will complain. That is for sure. And I guess the proof on the pudding lies if you have, as we call it, bums on seats. So you have trials and test drives and things like that by people experiencing your product, and that can only come by doing lots and lots and lots of experiential marketing, which will have a larger connect, more loyalty, more referral, and things like that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Ahead of time. All right. Can I get LD to do rebuttal?
Hi, everyone. I'm going to give the rebuttal for Team B to the argument that Sait presented. So let me start by saying what is the motion we are debating about. The motion is experiential marketing will take share from digital marketing. That was the motion. The motion is not about whether experiential is good or digital is good. So I want to lay it out there upfront. Now, to make the motion, my friend Rasheed came up with 3 arguments. I'm going to go through each of his arguments one by one and share our perspective. His first argument was experiential has made a comeback after COVID. Yes, I give it to him. This is anecdotal at best. Maybe the experiential thing started from non-existent to insignificant, but it doesn't tell that it is taking market share from digital. Number 2 argument Rasheed made is marketers are putting experiential at the center of marketing. Again, he gave another anecdotal evidence that Red Bull's 8 billion brand is made because of experiential. Now, this is, I would say, far-fetched and stretched. It is as if saying that Sachin Tendulkar scored 10,000 runs because Vinod Kambli was his friend. It's as relatable as it is, but we go with that. The third argument, which was very pertinent to the motion, he started by saying digital budget has started to shrink from 70% to 56%. He quoted some figures from Gartner, I guess. Now, here are some other figures. I'm going to go quote from FICCI and Ernst & Young report. In 2020 to 2021, the media and entertainment industry as a whole grew only 16%, whereas digital marketing spend grew by 29%. Where is the shrinkage? Where is the money going? Only CIC is digital is actually going stronger than ever. Here is some additional data point from Bain and Flipkart data. The e-commerce market last year grew by 25% with 40 to 50 million new users, first-time shoppers, joining and doing transactions digitally. Audience, I'm going to rest my case again to bring the discussion back on the motion is whether experiential is getting market share out of digital or not. And my sincere proposition here is absolutely no. And I rest with my case here. As far as digital is concerned, it is going stronger as ever. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So I'm going to hang out with you all for a couple of minutes while we let them prepare their questions that they'll hand over to me in the next 2 minutes. So let me restart my timer here. And all right, let me come into the crowd. So this table, how do you think the team is doing?
I love the way Jahid presented his report. It was really dynamic, and I really loved LD's rebuttal as well. Amazing facts.
Okay, so you're seeing how do you think the
Yeah.
group is doing?
Yeah, I think so. They're doing excellent well.
Okay, great. Any argument that you...
I think with Zahid, I think I couldn't get the argument in place because he was talking more about digital as opposed to digital marketing. So I think he went a little off. But yeah, LD then came in and got it all a little together. But I still feel experientials are going in the right direction.
Right, so we've got one for each side. How do you think that they're doing?
I think it's all balanced as of now. We'll wait for the next round.
So, okay, so far. Anyone has let's go to this table. How are they doing? Any team that's catching your...
No, for sure the digital team is catching up as per my...
All right, great. Anyone thinking the experiential team is doing well? Okay.
Yeah, the experiential team seemed to be making the relevant points if you look at the topic. But yes, Lalatendu, he helped bring the team back into the game.
All right, so it looks pretty even. So any comments over here, any words of encouragement before we let them go?
I think digital is the way, so my vote is going to go for them.
Okay, so we have some pre-decideds as well, so it leaves it to the experiential team. Any last comments here?
I think experiential way is going to be the way forward. And the topic is rightly put that it will take some part out of the digital marketing budget. So we'll see if the digital team can actually rest their case.
Great, so one more?
I believe digital and experiential will come together, especially with metaverse coming in, and I see that like a very big thing, and you know, we go to concerts in metaverse, so what are we waiting for? So digital is going to go far.
That's a really great way to end it, which is this even a debate at all when we're actually bringing everything together? But you'll see so far that I'm not going to take an informal poll, but you saw from the audience we are sort of evenly split, which is why it's very important that you have your phones ready to vote if you actually have a point of view. But do allow your personal preferences to be swayed by the next 10 minutes or so. All right, so 20 seconds to go. I've given you all an extra minute. You can see I am a little bit strict about timing, but that's important. 10 seconds. Please prioritize the questions as well, because we'll have 10 minutes for questions. All right, time's up. What do they do in classes where they steal the question paper even before you're finishing writing? Is there... I will try to read it. If I can't read it, I'll have you come up and take the questions. Should we penalize them for, what is the thing when you're still writing when the... All right. Nice guys get 30 seconds more. All right, great. That's one question, right? Or two? Oh, those are two questions. First one. Oh. Okay. Okay, great. Great. So I think we'll actually take the questions from right here. Let me just start the timer. I've got all my gear, but I want to keep myself honest as well. We have 10 minutes for questions. All right, so we're going to ask the questions first of the experiential team to the digital team. All right, the first question is, the role of experiential is bases the sector one operates in. One size does not fit all. How can digital be all-encompassing for all sectors?
Well, the essence of digital, the way we look like today, is personalization and customization at core. That's pretty much the basics of digital that we're looking at, right? Every sector, digital plays a very critical role. Like, let's say, the way advertising budgets are increasing in digital, that's because it's seamlessly going between discovery, research, and consideration, right? Let's take auto, where real-life experiences matter a lot. US is saying that 30% of its cars are selling online. The CEO of Volvo has said that 50% of its global online sales by 25 should be via online, right? Back home in India, Shashwat, the ED of Maruti, is saying that 21 out of 26 touch points are via digital before a guy actually researches and goes for a final test drive, which has reduced from 4 to only 1 because of the entire digital experience, right? Hyundai is saying that 30% of its inquiries are coming from only digital. So if you see, from discoverability to inquiries, just taking one sector in comparison, we have a very good discoverability, we have a very good research, and we have got an unassisted conversion zone which can be done. And that's pretty much, and there are a lot of platforms, be it programmatic, be it reach and frequency, which can be controlled, customized, and one-on-one customization can be done, be it your own grown mediums, which is our home mediums, be it the paid mediums. So across sectors, the same philosophy follows. It's just about how we implement in each of these sectors.
Great, thank you. All right, people like that answer. Well done. I like the use of automotive. Against an automotive guy, that'll be interesting on what you're going to do with that data, but that was pretty brave, actually.
Bring it
Okay, so now a question from the digital team to the experiential team. How can you run a physical experiential event without creating using digital as a cost-effective platform? You can repeat the question? Did I read that correctly? Yeah. How can you run a physical event, experiential event, without creating
Reach.
Without using digital.
without using digital as a cost-effective platform to support that event?
Yeah, so if you look at the motion that we are arguing on today, it is not about earned media and owned media. We are talking about paid media is the issue, and that is where experiential is taking share from, right? So I gave you the example of Red Bull, again, where the brand primarily revolves around activation and setting world records and things like that, where digital comes in and works in service of experiential, right? All the fans that are sharing all the content, they are becoming ambassadors of the brand thereafter. Take, for example, Volvo, right? I don't know how many of you all saw this activation that Volvo did recently, where there was a truck on truck. Did you guys see all that? What Volvo had done. So the shareability of doing a great experiential campaign that does not require any money to reach the hands of the consumers is what we're talking about, is the power of experiential when you put experiential at the heart of what you're doing. Take Dreamforce, for example, of Salesforce, right? In 2019, it had 170,000 attendees attending that event. This year, it had 40,000 because as we are re-emerging, but online, there were 1 million viewers of that. All free, paid. So what we are saying is let experiential work for you and get you better ROI. Don't go and pay for it through paid advertising. Let it work for you harder so that you're earning your ROI through free channels, whether it's PR or whether it is earned media that we're talking about. And that's what we're really talking about over here.
All right, great. Should I ask it in the order? Are you comfortable with it being the order? Yes. No, there is no cross question, but you can actually cover any points in your closing comments if you choose. But maybe I'll allow cross question. That might be interesting. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. This is a question for Team B, who represents digital. US-based online platforms pulled the plug on Russia post the Ukraine war. If we are faced with a similar situation in India, how would your media strategy look?
Maybe I'll take that. I think this is a good scenario to consider, where US, which is superpower, pulling the plug on some of the digital channels operating in Russia, which is, of course, not good for Russians at least. But here is another anecdote I would give. When TikTok was banned in India, we certainly got the alternatives. We had Moz, we had Takatak. So that innovation cycle is going to continue. It's not that digital users are suddenly going to one day wake up and say that today I'm going to go just meet people. If I have to give a tweet, I'll go and tell somebody in his or her ears that this is my idea. No, this is not going to change. The behavior is certainly has permanently changed. People will find different platforms, new innovators would come in and create new digital channels for people to collaborate. Again, we expect this to be a global world, global interconnected world. But if such an event happens where a major superpower kind of intervenes, whether it's right or wrong is for another day, I would still consider that digital will still find its own way and not default to a physical experiential channel in its entirety.
Okay, great, LD. So new platforms will find their way. Digital will always stay alive. All right, a question for the experiential team. Digital is growing at 29%. Overall, the market for media is growing at 16%. Why do you think budgets will not come from offline spends? Offlines is what I'm assuming they mean by experiential. Or it can be print as well. So offline is broader than just experience.
Why not anybody else's budget? So if you look at a marketing mix, right? When you plan media, there are only 3 or 4 possible line items which will make the entire marketing mix, right? So be it offline and online, be it experiential, be it digital, be it television, be it print, there'll be 4 or 5 very, very vanilla topics which will make a full marketing mix. If we are saying that the digital spends will either plateau or they will reduce, then the idea would be that some other pie would definitely go up in terms of their spends.
We are saying it's growing by 30%.
Yeah.
So what makes you feel that this will stop and not the offline, which is going down?
No, so within the offline, suppose I'm saying, I mean, even as what I do specifically, I'm spending about 30-35% on digital even today. And I'm not saying that digital is not relevant. Yeah? I'm saying that it is, but from the balance 60-70%, I am still spending 80, 85, 90% on experiential, because the gestation, when I'm doing an experiential activity, the gestation from somebody sitting on a fence to making the sale is that much quicker, right? And the issue is that, a lot of your automotive examples that you stated, sometimes the problem happens on attribution of the lead to a specific source basis the spend that you do in marketing, right? So the sales journey from point A to point B, in that journey, there's a lot of gray areas where we cannot really put a nail saying that this was actually a digital lead which converted, right? And that's what happens, and then there's a constant debate between offline and online teams to say what really worked and what did not work, because there is definitely an issue of attribution.
Okay, so we only have 56 seconds for the last question, so I'm going to skip that and give you all time to prepare your closing remarks. 2 minutes to prepare, please, and I will come hang out with the audience until then. So let me come to this side. Oh wait, let me first time them, otherwise I'll lose track of time. All right, 2 minutes. I'm doing a lot of work, aren't I? All right, so how do you feel now? Any change of mind, or?
I'm waiting for the final response from both the teams. Still not decided.
Still not decided. Anybody else not decided? Dipali, how are you feeling since you've spent so much money on both?
I'll continue to spend so much money on both.
Are you feeling one team, and are you rooting for a team? Okay, no sides on this one. Fair enough. Good decision, good decision. How do you think they're doing?
I'm still rooting for digital.
Still, are you hoping that they might win, or you're not feeling confident?
I believe they'll win.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. How do you think?
Actually, based on my research, I have experienced that everything comes with your experience, and digital marketing is getting overshadowed in some days. It will be overlapped by AI or something, and experience that we talk about that counts a lot. So I would go for experiential.
All right.
Yeah, I guess digital marketing is good for reaching people at their home. People just sit on the internet and they just search the things, they get to know about the things. But at the end, if you are buying costly things, you definitely need to experience it. So definitely both the marketing styles will never end. Both have their pros and cons, but as AI is increasing, we are saying digital. Experiential cannot be eliminated from this world.
That's great. So we actually have a point of view that both are here to stay, but as a reminder that you're voting for is that experiential will take share from digital, right? So what is this coming from? There's some data that says the majority of budget is still being spent on experiential. A smaller budget is on digital, but digital was growing faster for many years, right? So we're actually saying digital is not going to grow as fast because experiential is going to take share from the digital piece, whatever that 30% was, will move back. So it's not to say both won't grow, it's that will one take share from the other? Yes.
Thanks. The thing is, I just wanted to say that I've worked with the digital organization for the past 1 decade. One thing that I've realized is that the tier 2 and the tier 3 cities, there is something you can't sell your car online. You can't sell most of the, you can say, expensive luxury items online. Amazon is also still yet to penetrate in those particular markets. 70% of our population stays there. What about that? Means even though most of the people are talking about metros, but there are cities apart from metros.
So that's a little bit of fodder. Unfortunately, if you have not already talked about it, they cannot introduce new information in their closing comments, but nonetheless, it's a good thing. We will have to resume and finalize. So can I have the speaker for the closing comments for the experiential team go up? No, for the digital team is closing comments first, yeah. It's a 2 minutes for the closing comments.
So will experience take the budgets from digital? We have established very equivocally when the team by itself said that they are spending 35% on digital. Because the question is, you made a great experience, you make a great product. How do you talk to people about that? You have to come to digital. Because the team members were very kicked about participating in this event, and they actually took the post to LinkedIn talking about welcoming people, please come and visit our forum. So it's pretty much talking about it, that we cannot go away from digital. You know, the whole aspect of it is, digital is the way of life, because what we spoke about it, be it top of the funnel, be it mid-funnel research, and be it bottom funnel. Because today you are researching about the products. It's not only that the sales has to happen from digital. Understand, the entire research is happening on digital. And the last part of it, you can always go and take over there in experiential marketing. We are never claiming that we're going to take it all. Because, again, what's happening is, the budget is going to come out from the other cost medium where there is no attribution. At least they're agreeing that there is attribution. There are problem areas, we can solve it out. But look at the other generals and other genres where there is zero attribution. How do you deal with that?
Time's up.
Okay, thank you.
Can start? Okay, I have come to Taj Lands End after 5 years, right? And I had a lot more hair when I was here 5 years back. I used a shampoo, I used a hairdryer, I used a comb 5 years back. Guess what? Today I didn't use any of them and I got ready in the morning to come for the event. Okay? Why? The landscape has changed. So what we are really saying is that be prepared for a changing landscape. People are wanting to experience brands in real life more than ever before. Don't get stuck to digital, and don't feel bad if experiences are going to take share from digital. Digital will also grow because there will be a lot more brands that will come into the market. The growth will be there, but experiential will come and take share from digital, because digital is ultimately very transactional in nature, right? There's no emotional quotient. You're not building fans over there. Hence, just for the emotional quotient that you want to build, like my colleague Kshitij said over here, look at experiential and look at how that's going to take share from digital, and look at the mix where experiential can be at the heart of your marketing mix and digital is in service of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I just get a good round of applause for these four? And you can imagine a lot of people do a lot of prep for panels, but this took a significant amount of prep for them to get ready for this. We're now going to go into voting. So Yatin, if you can guide us on the voting. Till then, any open, now you guys are actually you guys are still getting judged, so I'm not going to give you guys more airtime. But we'll actually be taking a vote. Once again, the motion is that the motion that you are voting for is that experiential will take share from digital marketing budgets. Please scan the QR code or fill in the forms about whether you are voting for Team Digital or Team Experiential. I'm in the way. I'll sit down. Please, everybody vote, including all of those by the wall. Some of the industry will depend on the outcome of this debate. No, I'm just kidding. You guys are losing? About 10 years ago, I did this same format against print. So it was digital and print, and digital lost then as well. So we got to do something better. Wow.
I must say this reminds me of a Abbas Mastan film filled with twists and turns. That's how the results are panning out right now.
This looks like it's, oh, it's moving, the needle's moving. You can see the blue is gaining. You know, the experiential is still there. A little bit increase in experiential.
All right, let's close it in the next 10 seconds.
You still have time?
Yes.
How many votes? 176. How many do you think are in this room? Come on, guys. Oh, it's very, oh my God, this is like the US election now. There's going to have to be a runoff if this gets into the...
I think, Virginia, we should now close it, the discussion, and you can announce.
Oh, it's still moving. It's still moving. Okay, I think it's...
Yes.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ah, experiential team, congratulations.